I'm Sid, and these are my best friends. My mom, Kim, my dad, Ty, and my sister, Maddie, who before starting her own adventure, joined us in rocking out a state-of-the-art refit on our floating home. Now, we're ready to set sail to die with memories, not dreams, and live dauntless.
Welcome back, everyone. With Splash Day quickly approaching, we need to finish up our last-minute boat projects that we've started while being on the hard. We also need to finish packing and get those engines and sail drives popped back in. So, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to smash the notification bell so you know every time a new video is posted. We've got a lot of work to do, so let's get to it.
Kim's gonna clean this window up, get all the sticky tape off of the outside. We put this blue tape down so that the Dr. Shrink didn't ruin the vinyl wrap that's around the perimeter. We put a vinyl wrap on that to protect the caulking, the UV blocker. When she's done cleaning that inside and out, then I'll bed this window back in the opening and then strap it up on the inside with the suction cup. Again, I'll show you how I do that, and we need to let it sit overnight for it to set up. So we'd used a slightly different product to do the back windows, and I talked to basically a caulking expert when we were in Georgia, and that's all he does for a living is bed windows and do caulking on yachts and what have you. And he said to use this 295 UV is going to be the best for the installation of these guys. So that's what we're going to do.
Before we can reinstall the windows, we need to prep the surface where the caulking goes to ensure proper adhesion.
So this is a recess in the Perspex itself, yes?
Yes.
That you're filling? And this kind of circular motion that you're doing, it's kind of creating little peaks. Do you want those?
Yeah, and I don't want there to be any gaps. And I'm gonna have you go inside and hold. I'm gonna set it in place. I have to put spacers underneath to center it in the opening, left, right, top, and bottom, because there has to be a cushion of Sika all the way around it. So I'm gonna put it up in there, put the shims in. I'm gonna hold the window in, and I need you to go in and grab that and pull on it. Okay? And then we're gonna switch spaces. And when I come in, I'm gonna grab it from you, and you're gonna go outside, and you're gonna hold it in place while I lash it from the inside.
Cool. All right, so Ty actually is holding the window backwards right now so that he can take those spacers and find out what the actual gap is between the hull and the window itself. And then he'll turn it around the correct way without getting silicone on him, hopefully, or the boat. And then it will go up in place. Got it? And I will hold it.
Less pressure.
Okay. So then on the inside, he is taking and lashing, that actually happens to be Dyneema, to the suction cup. And then there's a board that actually holds up to the trim in the cabin. And he'll lash that through the handle of the suction cup and around that board to keep it really, really tight in place until this silicone, the Sika, has had a chance to set. So there you go. I'll show you the inside here in a minute. And there she is. All right, so how long before we can come back and do the caulking on the window between the window and the hull in this gap?
Tomorrow.
We can do it tomorrow, really?
Yeah.
Sweet.
And it sets up in a few hours, but we're gonna leave it overnight, and then we can come back in with more 295 UV in white which I think is what we're gonna do. And we're gonna caulk in the perimeter to the hull, and that will 100% seal the window and the, of course, additional adhesive that's on the inside. So we're gonna do that all the way around on all four. This window we handled today. Tomorrow we'll do the other window, and then we'll let that set, and then we'll just hit them all at one time, I think, is what we'll do. Because we have a lot of taping to do.
Okay, Sydney and I have gotten the starboard forward window out. We've cleaned the window, and now Sydney is chiseling out all of the caulking from the exterior side of the window so that Ty can come in and give a final inspection, and then we can get this window rebedded today before the end of the day. So let's see what Sid's doing. How's the chiseling going?
It's going. Come on, I can't afford this song.
Don't worry, I didn't get any of it, so you're good.
It's going. I'm short, and like the ladder's too tall for me to stand, but it's not tall enough for me to sit, so
It's a process.
it's a process. My arms are getting tired. Now that all the windows are secure, we are caulking them in with white Sika for a nice, clean, and watertight finish. We can now cross rebed and caulk the windows off the list. Before we drop the engines back in, we're going to place the sail drives in their holes.
Are you gonna try and set that down or not?
Yep.
Where do you want to set it down at? Talk to me, please.
I don't know.
Okay.
Preferably in the hole.
Well,
We're gonna put that cardboard down this next step.
on this step?
Yep. Okay. Yeehaw!
Alright.
Tip it towards me.
Well, that actually would be a bad idea, but...
Nope, I want this end. You grab the bottom.
Ready?
Yep.
And we're clear.
Hold that end up. Okay, let go.
How can I help you? Do you want me to grab it from the bottom side?
Nope.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Watch your fingers, please. Aw, so pretty!
Brand spanking
Wow.
new. Woo! How sexy that is.
That looks so pretty.
All right.
I love it.
Someone else is gonna love those sail
I
drives.
know. All right, now we gotta go get the other one.
All right. It's the wrong one.
You're
What?
lying.
I couldn't help it. There you go.
Oh. Are you gonna take it out? Well, we're gonna carry it together, I thought. Why do you keep handing me all this stuff?
Yeah. Sid.
Dude, I can't film and be your saddle monkey at the same time.
Saddle
I have to
monkey.
do it all the time, saddle monkey. Come on.
3.
Sure.
3, 7, 12.
After carrying the first one by himself, Dad decided he wanted some help carrying the second one across the yard back to the boat.
That is a beautiful sight.
Okay. All right, so I've loosened this already, taken this out just to bleed out the system. But
What is this system?
this is the,
What was it? An O-ring?
yep. This is the coolant system. So we're trying to clean up the heat exchanger. And over a period of time, the heat exchanger can get calcified or what have you. I've looked through all the hoses and everything is actually relatively clean on the inside. However, there is a little bit of calcification on the heat exchanger. So we're going to soak them in vinegar. And that will allow us to get any calcification cleaned out. Come on, baby. And you can see the outside of it are clean. This side has the coolant on it, and then inside, it's kind of hard to see. There's ever so slight amount of corrosion buildup around the perimeter here, and I think there might be just a little bit of buildup. So we're going to take this, put it in this bag. This. We're going to add vinegar. Oops. And a lot of it.
Hey, now don't go wasting my vinegar.
Let it soak the rest of the day or overnight, and it'll just dissolve all of that calcium buildup. And then we'll just rinse it off tomorrow and put it right back in the engine. Just vinegar. And that's the reaction with the copper and bronze and everything else that's in there. And it has successfully dissolved all of the calcium and everything that's down inside of there. And so now I'm just going to rinse it out and put it back in the heat exchanger.
Sweet. Good old vinegar.
So rinse and rinsey in the blue clean chair.
Nobody gets that joke.
No, but those who get it. Right, there we go. All right.
Here she be.
There it is.
Sweet.
So,
And we have new gaskets for that?
yeah.
Awesome.
Gaskets for it. Going through and just double checking all the systems, starter seals, all of that. And I discovered a couple things. One, the rear main seal. So if you want to show everybody down here, this is the crankshaft on the engine. And this black band that you see in here is the rear main seal. Now it's folded in a little bit because I was poking at it, but there was a tiny seep of oil coming out of this rear main seal that was making a little bit of an oily mess down in here. Not a lot, but it was, it's not okay. And since I've got the engine out, I thought, you know, the easiest thing to do is just put in a new $10 seal, because doing all of this, if you had to pull everything apart, is, well, it's kind of a pain in the rear end. So
We need to clean this doodad before we put the new seal in. And once the seal is in, we use this seal maker on the back of the doodad to ensure that we have a complete and tight seal.
now there's two alignment pins on this. There's a pin there and there's a pin here. So I don't need to put any bolts in to align it yet. I just need to make sure that I clear the flywheel bolts. Slides right on, just like that. That's it. So this is impeller lubricant. Taste it.
It tastes like stevia.
Yeah. So glycerin is used by diabetics for a sweetener, right? And it's also the main lubricant, or the main ingredient in intimate lubricants. Anyway, all right. So you're gonna apply lube to the impeller, okay? Because
I'm gonna stuff it in the hole.
and you have to do this right because it's too big for the hole.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. Oh my god. This is a family channel. So, do you notice that there's 2 flat spots on the sides here?
Yes.
And then it's round.
Yes.
Okay, so because it's flat here and here, you're going to have to, and the impeller turns this direction. Okay, it takes the incoming seawater, spins it, and throws it out. So what you're going to have to do is, you're going to have to rotate this as you put it in here, and you're trying to lay these impeller vanes flat like that against the bottom, and then once you rotate it flat against the bottom, then you can get it inside the opening. Then you can wiggle it till it fits on the splines, and then stick it in there. So there you go.
Lube her up.
Lube it up.
Made me second guess myself.
There you go. Now push.
Oh, I got it.
There you go.
Now for this. Can we open that?
Why do you care if the bag gets dirty? You're not keeping the bag.
Touche.
Done. Sweet.
We are very excited to be reinstalling the engines. This time we used the headsets that we've been testing out for Crewplex so that we could communicate with the boom lift operator, Lou, for easier and more efficient work. We will be doing a review of these headsets in an upcoming video.
Here's what?
That,
No, it's a rubber gasket.
oh,
Oh, you mean the shaft?
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have grease?
It's not on me.
Do you want grease?
I do.
We are very happy with how today went and are excited that we are one step closer to getting D1 back in the water. Do we have a galvanic isolator on the 450?
No.
Why?
I was never going to be at a dock.
Okay. How are you going to prevent this from happening again?
put on a galvanic isolator.
You're planning on doing that to the 450 before we sell it.
Affirmative.
And there will be one on the 50, correct?
No.
What will be on the 50 then?
An isolation transformer.
What is the difference?
An isolation transformer provides a more robust and thorough isolation of the boat to the grounded shore power, which prevents any and all corrosion taking place in the vessel, in the water, where there's stray current. A galvanic isolator reduces the process and does a good job at it, but is not as good.
Are you worried about the 50 being on that dock, and have you inspected it?
No. And yes. No, I'm not worried, and yes, I've inspected it. So it's not plugged in, everybody. So if it's not plugged in, it's just floating in the water and it's not getting hurt. So it doesn't need a galvanic isolator nor an isolation transformer until we put power to the boat. And once we do that, that will be installed in the system, so it'll be okay. I've been down twice to inspect it. It has been in the same condition both times. The only damage or corrosion that we've gotten is on the zincs. We've lost about 15 or 20% just from the battery charger for the lift battery for the tender lift on the back being installed, or being charged. So other than that, it's good. We only charge it for a few hours at a time, and the zincs are handling the corrosion process, or zincs are mitigating the corrosion issue on the sail drives.
Is there a problem with the wiring on the boat that caused the sail drives to corrode?
No, there's no problem with the wiring on the boat. We've gone through Nigel Calder's book and gone through every single test to make sure that there's no what they call ground leaks or any stray current that's being created and by the boat. And we have a good solid grounding system, and there's actually no issues. We spent, I think probably 4 or 5 hours verifying that and doing every test multiple times. So no, the boat's good. There's just stray current in the water.
Why didn't you just buy new alloy housings for the drives and reuse the insides?
Good question. I tried, and you can only really get the sail drive leg with the guts in it. So I thought, well, I'll just order new legs. Well, legs were over $6,000 a piece, and the legs and the transmissions combined are about $500 to $600 less based on what iteration and long or short leg or what have you. So it was cheaper to buy an entire new transmission and sail drive than just the housing.
Was it necessary to pull the engines?
No, it was not necessary to pull the engines. However, since we were on the hard waiting for stuff to show up, we wanted to make sure that there was zero issues on the engine. So we went through everything soup to nuts. I actually found a leaky rear main seal on one of the engines, so we went and replaced both on both engines, and that allowed us just to more easily do a service, get to every nook and cranny around the engine easily and comfortably. It is not comfortable doing extensive work on an engine or inspection in the engine space. So it's just easier to do it on pallets and sitting on a bucket.
You touched on this earlier, but where is the stray current coming from?
We don't fully know where all of the stray current is coming from. The dock and the house that we were plugged into did a thorough search and investigation, and they actually shut the entire house down. It did reduce the current in the water by some measure, but there was still current left in the water. So some of it from the house or the dock that we were on, some of it from another dock. But there is countless boat lifts and electrical underwater lights and electrical equipment all around that canal. So without testing every single house, we're just never going to know where the other culprit came from. So we don't know. And frankly, it doesn't really matter. The boat will have an isolation transformer on it if it ever goes back to that dock, which I cannot imagine that it's going to be back plugged in because, well, it's being occupied. And the boat that's there now, our friend's boat, has an isolation transformer that was actually installed from the factory, from Leopard. So they've had zero issues with their sail drives as a result. So even though there's dirty power, it's not affecting them because of the equipment that they installed on the boat.
Why did you not just weld the holes on the sail drives to close it up?
because it wasn't the right thing to do. We could have patched them, but patching isn't the right answer. And as you notice from this video and the previous videos, how porous the metal is, it actually wouldn't take a weld very well. And if so, it really would just be an unscrupulous cover-up. It actually wouldn't be resolving the issue. So you can hide it, but you can't fix it. And we're interested in fixing it, not hiding it.
All right, guys, I hope we answered all your burning questions. If we missed one, or if you've thought of a new one, please leave it in the comment section down below. While you're there, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And this week, if you made it to the end of the video, leave us an emoji of your country's flag in the comments section. We love to see where everybody's watching from. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.